Hi everyone and welcome back to Artful. In this week's tutorial we're going to be having another look back at our lino cutting, specifically making a tessellating pattern in the style of M.C Escher with these birds. So get out your brayer, your lino cut tools and let's have a go. To start off with, we've taken this design from M.C Escher. The template of this will be in the description, and what I want you to do is just print this off and then trace over the line in heavy pencil. Flip over the paper and then scribble onto the back of the design so it makes a print of the mirror of the template onto your lino. I'm using a small to medium lino cut blade to carve away the fine, precise details on the inside of the bird. I didn't want to use one of the larger blades because I thought it would take away too much lino cut from the image. Once you've carved away the detail that you want from the design, unscrew the hilt of your lino cut tool and replace the blade with the scalpel tool. Then, with a lot of elbow grease, you're going to start carving away the shape of the bird so you can cut it out. Once again, when I'm doing lino cut tutorials, I think it's very important to point out that you need to carve away from yourself because the tools are very sharp. And as cool as the tessellating pattern is, I don't want any injuries on my conscience just because you followed along to one of my videos. So when you finish working on bird A, let's call him Adam, you can now start to work on bird B, and I'll let you decide what we call it. So once again, you're tracing over the template, so drawing over the line that I've already drawn, flipping the image and then drawing quite roughly on the back of it so you make a print of the pencil onto your lino plate. Then for a second time, using a small to medium blade to cut away the details from the inside of the blade, and then swapping out that tool with the scalpel blade to cut out the outline of the bird. Now there's the first bit done. You've got your two cut out lino cut birds. Now I think these are quite nifty on their own. I imagine they'd be quite trendy earrings, but what we're going to use them for are stamps to make a pattern on our paper. Here I'm flipping my birds over and outlining them with a pencil. Now this is just for me. Even though I'm an artist, I actually find patterns quite hard to visualize. So if you're one of those people who's a bit more of a sharpshooter and you can just see it, then you don't really need to do this step. But this is just for me to kind of guide me where I'm placing the birds on the paper when I put the ink on them. Using our acetate and quite a liberal amount of red ink, you can now use your brayer to start inking up the design of the first bird. Then I flip the bird over, fit it snugly into the outlines that I've already drawn, put a bit of paper on top of it, and then using the same brayer, apply some pressure on top of it so that ink will press onto the paper. Then I remove the lino cut bird, and there we are, an ink relief of the bird onto your paper. And now it's really up to you how many times you repeat this. I've rinsed and dried our acetate so we can now apply a second colour to our lino cut bird. Now you don't have to add another colour if you don't want to, but we're making work inspired by M.C Escher, so I'd recommend adding a little pizzazz. Once again, you're flipping that paper on top of your lino cut and adding a bit of pressure to it with your brayer. And there we are. I've shown you the basics of creating your own tessellating pattern. Now I've only done this on paper, but there's nothing stopping you adding it to a sketchbook, your car, your house, sky's the limit. This process took me a couple of hours to complete, but hopefully it might be a bit more streamlined for you because you can print out the template provided. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial showing how to make a tessellating pattern in the style of M.C Escher. Now, like I said, the sky really is the limit with these stamps. You can decorate anything, be it a sketchbook, a bit of furniture, even a house, just as long as you own it, don't go vandalise anything. But whatever you choose to make, please tag me on Instagram at ArtfulBox because I really love to see everyone have a go at these tutorials. It really warms my icy heart. Like and subscribe to our YouTube to see some of our earlier videos. And why not treat yourself and visit artful.co.uk. Thank you very much again for watching, and I'll see you again soon.